Subaru Japan just dropped one of the biggest teasers we've had in years, and yes, there's STI badging in it. Now, the teaser ends with the date of January 9th, 2026. In today's video, we're going to break down what is known about this, what is likely to happen, and what we can speculate on for you WRX fans, especially those that are waiting for a true return and comeback of the WRX STI. With that said, let's get into the video. So here's what we know for sure. Just a little bit ago, Subaru posted on their Japanese social media a small teaser video of a potential STI model. We saw the STI branding on the wheel, Brembo brakes. We saw STI in the grille, STI on the hatch. We get a shot of the tail light that shows it's going to be a sedan model rather than a hatch. And of course, it's in Subaru's World Rally Blue. Now, that is all we have so far, aside from the date at the end of the video being January 9th, 2026. And that date is not random because the Tokyo Auto Salon 2026 is going to run January 9th to January 11th. And Subaru has already confirmed that they will be there. So no better time to unveil a return of the WRX STI than at this show. So why is this such a big deal? Well, most of us know that the STI, the true STI, the WRX STI, has been absent from Subaru's lineup for many years now, since 2021, and they have had a giant hole in their performance catalog versus the other brands out there. Now, a lot of us know that the STI model really didn't get any performance upgrades since it launched in 2004 in the US market, staying at 300 horsepower forever, moving slowly to 305, 310, and then a fewer high horsepower variants with the Type RA and the S209 limited production models. Other than that, the STI was basically exactly where it was with the EJ257. This could be a true return of the WRX STI model. Now, Subaru has been teasing for years the STI branding, concept cars, etc. Just a few months ago, we saw the ESTI and BSTI concepts, and we had the all-electric version or rendition of an STI model, and we had the hatchback version of the STI model in the B model that was gasoline powered, and it looked more like a production-ready model in hatchback form, kind of a mismatch of the VB chassis with a lot of tweaks here and there, which a lot of people did not like, and a lot of people liked it. I didn't hate it, but it didn't look like it was something they were going to bring into production. They said it was a concept. Now, with this teaser video, what we see is something that very well could go into production. It looks like they finally fleshed out a true VB chassis STI model that most of us have been asking for since the STI disappeared. Now, what we can tell from the actual teaser video is, like I said, we see the STI branding on the wheels, we see the Brembo brakes in gold, we see STI branding on the grille. You don't get a very good look at the car because it's just broken up little segments. Probably has a larger hood scoop, probably has the high wing on the back. From the taillight, as I said earlier, we can tell it is a sedan. It has a VB sedan taillight in it. It's not going to be a hatch model. There might be a hatch model offered, but the one in this teaser video is definitely a sedan. We also get a shot of the exhaust. We hear a little bit of a revving engine noise in the trailer. And again, what a better time to fully bring back a true real STI model than at the Tokyo Auto Salon, and especially on the 9th being the first day where the most media is going to be there, the most hype is there, and, you know, bringing it to the people that have been wanting its return for many years. Now, this doesn't feel like some random sticker package. It does feel like and look like a really truly fleshed out VB WRX STI is on the horizon. Now, let's not get too excited though. We have to reel back the hype because Subaru has had a history of exciting us and pulling the rug out from under us with these STI teasers. Because in Subaru land, STI can mean two different things. Option one is the true performance flagship model with improved horsepower, performance, handling, exterior, interior, all the stuff we know as the true WRX STI flagship model. There's also option B, which is the STI branded models for Japanese market, where it's more of tuned suspension, performance looks with lips and wheels and tires and exhaust and some tweaks to the interior, etc. More of an upscale trim level than a true flagship performance model. So don't forget that Subaru Japan is great about getting us hyped up and letting us down, especially with the fact that STI means two different things for Japanese market compared to the US market, which is similar to the WRX S4 STI Sport in Japan. And looking at the setup, what Subaru has released as far as their booth is concerned, what they're going to be showcasing, they do mention the WRX S4 STI Sport and Lavorge and Impreza models. So it might be a whole lineup of STI branded vehicles, not a true WRX STI flagship once again returning. So with that said, we should not assume seeing the STI badge means a return to the old school flagship top tier model, especially with how Japan differentiates the STI model. So keep that in mind. Hold your expectations a little low, but I'm going to guess that we might really see that true flagships return. Now, we talked earlier about the BSTI and ESTI, the all-electric EV STI model concept, and the B, which some speculate was hybridized or could be a hybridized model in the hatchback that we saw at the Japanese Mobility Show back in October. Now, we've talked about those in previous videos. Subaru hasn't really alluded to the fact that they're going to move forward with these and producing them in any way, shape, or form, but they did use it as a feeler, as a test for the market to see which the customer base was more interested in, if they were more interested in a full EV STI, high-performance electric vehicle, or if they were more interested in internal combustion, possibly hybridized. And I believe the response Subaru got was overwhelmingly internal combustion. We don't want an EV STI. If the flagship returns, it needs to follow the STI historical formula of more horsepower, more performance, a better transmission, better driveline, better differentials, beefed up exterior, bigger wheels, tires, bigger brakes, all of the things that we know as the STI DNA. The Recaro sport seats, a better interior, lighter weight materials on the outside, and that higher horsepower engine. The things that have made STI STI since way back in the day when Subaru started tweaking the WRX for more performance and offering it as a factory option. Now, one of the biggest things you need to consider in this, in reeling back your hype, if they do truly unveil a real VB WRX STI, the question remains, will we see it in the U.S. market? Will it be available for purchase for U.S. buyers? This might be what we wanted, but it might be a Japanese market-only vehicle. Remember, Japan has much laxer regulations on automobiles as far as power, crash ratings, and their emissions in the U.S. market. So we could see the STI's full flagship return, but it might only be in the Japanese market and other foreign markets and not available to us as U.S. buyers. But what that could mean is the potential to get more STI products for your VBWRX in the U.S. market. We could see companies emulate what is in the Japanese market in the aftermarket for us, or importers bringing in those STI-specific parts for VB owners. So it might not be all doom and gloom. You might be able to clone an STI model in the VB chassis if it's not unveiled, available, brought to the U.S. market for sale as its own bespoke U.S. model. Now, my opinion on this and what Subaru, in my eyes, needs to do if they're truly bringing back a VB STI flagship model. Now, they can't just badge slap STI on something and kit it up like they've done on these prototypes in the past. The cars like the S210, the B and E STIs, the WRX S4 STI, all of those models, they absolutely cannot do that. If they bring the STI brand back and have it as their flagship, they have got to improve horsepower numbers. They have got to get closer to what the competition has out there. 305, 310 horsepower, even 345 probably isn't enough. They're going to need 400 plus horsepower in this thing. They're going to need true performance as far as the driveline and differentials are concerned. They're going to need true performance in braking upgrades, wheel and tire upgrades, and the cosmetics. They have to follow the old STI formula, but they have to bring it to 2026. You have to be competitive. You can't bring out the STI and get dogged by everything else in that segment fresh, brand new. They have got to be competitive. They have got to hold close in horsepower, acceleration, 0 to 60, stopping times, etc., with what else is on the market in that segment, or it's just not going to work. People are going to be ashamed, and it will be a massive flop. Now, on January 9th, there should be a live stream of the booth and the unveiling. Here's what I will be looking for. Will this be a true flagship VB STI? Will they call it the WRX STI, or will it be some other STI trim level? Will it have true performance added to it? Will it be hybrid assisted? Will it have a true performance driveline, a manual transmission rather than a CVT as we've seen in cars like the S210? Will this be a true grassroots return to their heritage and bringing back a STI, an STI that is capable in performing and keeping up in the current global market and in its segment? Guys, with that said, thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your speculations, your thoughts and feelings on this potential WRX STI resurrection down below. We only have a few days, less than a week away from the unveiling, where all these answers will be given to us, or we hope they'll be given to us. So let me know down below what you'd like to see in a return to the WRX STI and what you expect to see. Thank you guys again. I'll see you in the next one.